Okay, welcome everyone. It is June 26, 2023, and this is the meeting of the Mayor and Council of Princeton, New Jersey. And Madam Deputy Clerk, could we have the meeting statement, please?
Certainly. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, including the time, date, and location of the meeting. In addition, the agenda and all related materials were posted electronically and made available to the public on Princeton's meeting portal in advance of the meeting.
Thank you very much. And I think Leticia is going to do the land acknowledgement tonight.
Yes, it'd be my honor.
I got to take roll call. Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, we do the land acknowledgement before roll call.
Yes.
Oh, I apologize.
Okay.
Yep.
It's all right this time.
We gather today on the land of the Lenni Lenape. As members of the Princeton community, we aspire to show appreciation, respect, and concern for all peoples and our environment. We honor the Lenape and other indigenous caretakers of these lands and waters, the elders who lived here before, the indigenous today, and the generations to come.
Thank you. Can we have roll call?
Ms. Pearl-Lambros,
Here.
Ms. Niedergang,
I'm going to say it very slowly so Mr. Cohen has a chance to get to the podium. Here.
Mr. Cohen, Ms. Sachs,
Here.
Ms. Fraga,
Here.
Mr. Newland,
Aki.
Mayor Frida.
I am here. Thank you. Okay, if you wish, please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. All right, we have 4 sets of minutes, and I got to figure out how to turn my screen on so I can see all of you at one time, but hang on. Hey, Adam, how do I turn this thing on? Anyway, somebody want to move the minutes?
I actually, if I can say, I wasn't here for the 23rd or the 30th, so I'm going to abstain from those two.
Okay.
I'll move, Mayor.
Thank you, Leighton. Eve's got the second. Yeah, turn that thing on. Sorry, I can't find the on button. And I'll remember that next time. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? And abstentions for the 23rd and 30th?
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
David, I think
Yeah.
you had one too.
Yes, I have 2 abstentions also for the 23rd and the 20th, to June 20th.
I'm not crazy. Oh, you're magic. Okay, thank you. Dawn, you got all the abstentions?
I'll move.
Yeah, good. Okay, we're good. We got all that. We voted. Everybody abstained or did whatever. Thank you. All right, let's go with announcements and reports, starting with council members. Leticia.
So I have a few brief announcements on behalf of our Human Services Department. Starting with, this department is coordinating the Summer Youth Employment Program. This summer, the department is going to provide 42 Princeton youth with job readiness, development, and employment at local nonprofits, the Princeton University, and municipal departments. The students are scheduled to begin work July 5th. The department is also partnering with the Princeton Public Library and Princeton Senior Resource Center to coordinate another affordable connectivity program workshop. The program is administered by the Federal Communications Commission and helps households afford the broadband they need for work, school, healthcare, and to buy more offer to be able to afford a discount on services. The workshop will be held at the Princeton Public Library with the date to be determined. Human Services is also partnering with the Princeton Senior Resource Center to coordinate a transportation access workshop to educate residents on the various transportation services available throughout Princeton. The workshop will be held on August 24th at Reading Circle. And lastly, Human Services Department is partnering with the Princeton Senior Resource Center to coordinate a food access workshop. The workshop is going to educate residents on the food pantries in town, WIC, and SNAP benefits, and it's going to be held on June 29th at Reading Circle. That's it.
Thank you. Other council announcements or reports? All right. Any, I'm sorry.
I would just, is that working? Yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge the work of the Friends of Herrontown Woods, which I know we have often, but I just attended the birthday celebration of the Veblins, who were the original occupants of that house, and the Friends of Herrontown Woods were showing all the work that they've done to rehabilitate that house and all the work that they've done with the open space and the trails around what used to be called the Central Park of Princeton, and we hope it will get back to that point again. And it's great to see a group of local residents who've just come together in a truly welcoming way to teach all sorts of individuals in the community who don't necessarily know anything about invasive species or how to cultivate a healthy habitat, and they've been welcomed into this group. And there are many places in Princeton that call themselves welcoming, and this is one that truly is. It is a space where everyone involved feels welcome and included in a community group that just gives a sense of placemaking and belonging, and they're doing a fantastic job. And I know we have another group tonight that similarly makes people feel welcome. So I just wanted to take that opportunity to give them a shout out.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Sir.
I do have one thing to say. Just wanted to share with the public, earlier this week, we had an occasion to be with the Princeton Police Department, EMTs, first responders, and PFARs to acknowledge and celebrate two life-saving situations that happened earlier this year. One for a young girl on Birch Avenue and one for an older 70-year-old man who lives here in Princeton whose lives were both saved. And it was a very celebratory occasion. Obviously, saving the two lives is no small feat. But the chief gave out certificates to everyone that actually made and were on the call and acknowledged the families of the two people. You know, I wanted to share that with the public because when police get in trouble or do something wrong or, anything negative, they certainly get a lot of publicity. So we're going to give a shout out to police, first responders, PFARs, and everybody who were on those calls and all the people that protect our safety here in this wonderful town. Thank you.
Thanks, Leighton. Okay. Anybody else up here? All right. Any staff reports before we get to police? Okay. Lieutenant, I believe you have the police report for May.
On June 8th, the Princeton Police Department received their re-accreditation through the New Jersey State Chiefs of Police. This is a re-accreditation process that we go through every 3 years. So right now, we'll be going again for the process again in 2026. Over the past 2 months, we had approximately 16 citizens that were part of the Citizens Academy. It's something that it was our initial Citizens Academy where, along with several members of the council, we're a part of, and we're able to see some of the things that our police department, how we train, how we handle things, and a lot of the reasons why we do the things that we do. So we just want to thank some of the members of council as well as some of the citizens that came out and were a part of the process. And to piggyback off of Mr. Newland, the chief wanted us to make sure that we wanted to thank the members of PFARs and the paramedics that came on this past weekend in regards to the life-saving measures of these two Princeton residents. It's something that we look forward to doing more often in the future. recognizing those officers and other first responders when they do something that of such a great feat. So, and that's all I have for you, sir.
Thank you. Any questions for the Lieutenant? Eve?
Not really a question, but I just, in light of the proclamation we're getting to in a minute, I just wanted to thank the police department for their tremendous support at the Pride Parade. It was lovely to have, the police lead off with a car draped in a rainbow flag. It really brought home that the entire community supports everyone in the community, regardless of who they are, and just want to thank the police. I know I've been told that they were remarkably easy to work with and helpful, and that's been the case in most instances. So thank you so much for that as well.
All right, Eve, I believe you still have the floor as we move into the next item.
Thank you. It's a great honor to be able to recognize this organization that has really added so much to the town, and coming off the Pride Parade just 10 days ago, something like that, which was really a fabulous day for everyone, and I think really just makes a big difference in the town and really makes people feel safe and welcome. So now I'll launch into the official proclamation. Proclamation, Office of the Mayor. Whereas the Bayard Rustin Center for Social Justice was created in 2018 to provide programming and host events that serve our community across the spectrum of gender, identity, sexuality, and age, and to provide a dedicated safe space that is open every day and staffed by volunteers trained to welcome all who enter. And whereas, in honor of the center's namesake, Bayard Rustin, friend and ally to Martin Luther King and chief architect of the March on Washington, who was lost to history because he was a queer black man, the Bayard Rustin Center for Social Justice is committed to inclusion, compassion, and diversity through the services they provide every day to those who walk through their doors in need of love and in search of justice. And
whereas, since the Bayard Rustin Center for Social Justice was created 5 years ago, it has had a significant and meaningful impact not only in the town of Princeton, but throughout the state of New Jersey and beyond, by breaking down boundaries and opening up opportunities for all individuals to be seen and heard and to be recognized and respected. And
whereas in 2019, the center organized the first ever Pride Parade and after party in Princeton, attracting over 3,000 participants, including Governor Phil Murphy. And in 2020 and 2021, pivoted to producing online virtual Pride events, which drew over 25,000 participants. And this year, continuing the tradition of building in size, stature, and significance, hosted the third in-person and fifth annual Pride Parade and After Party, welcoming over 4,000 to the streets of Princeton, including notable celebrities, elected officials, inspirational community leaders and organizations, and most importantly, people who don't often have this opportunity to gather together safely and lovingly. And
whereas during the COVID-19 pandemic, the Bayard Rustin Center for Social Justice hosted the virtual Social Justice Power Hour, which was broadcast every single weeknight for more than 2 years, marking over 600 shows with a mix of inspirational local guests, as well as a cast of diverse and nationally known figures, including authors, activists, artists, dignitaries, and which served as a tremendous source of strength, solace, and entertainment during the pandemic by creating a supportive virtual community. And
whereas the Bayard Rustin Center for Social Justice has created and hosted programs such as the Queer Youth Brigade, Transgender Justice Collective, Defenders of the Right Read, a group that combats book banning and censorship, Birth Justice Reproductive Rights Initiative, welcoming the Community Free Breakfast, for which the first Friday of every month, and the Racial Justice Task Force, and
Whereas the Bayard Rustin Center for Social Justice also offers an in-house learning library with over 2,000 donated books, a dedicated queer history archive, diversity and inclusivity trainings for businesses, organizations, and the greater community, and whereas in just 5 short years, the Bayard Rustin Center for Social Justice has proven itself to be an inspirational and meaningful organization that serves as a necessary and essential community activist hub, educational bridge, and dedicated safe space for LGBTQIA youth, intersectional families, and all our marginalized individuals and groups, connecting diverse and disparate communities, both locally and nationally, in their fight for equal rights and recognition.
Now therefore, I, Mark Frieda, Mayor, and the Princeton Council of the Municipality of Princeton, County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, do hereby call upon all citizens to hail the Bayard Rustin Center for Social Justice for their outstanding services to the Princeton community with boisterous cheering and sustained applause. Thank you.
So I want to apologize profusely. Rose, who is the de facto leader of our Queer Youth Brigade, who I hope that most of you had the honor and privilege to meet, who is my inspiration, she was supposed to speak on our behalf tonight, and she is sick, so she cannot be here. So you're stuck with me for a hot minute. I promise I'll be quick. I know most of you know me well enough to know that brevity is not the soul of my wit, that Shakespeare would be disappointed. I want to say this, that I don't not see the irony of that when I was a teenager, I used to swim naked in the fountain over at Princeton University, and to now be here in front of this august body and to accept this honor on behalf of our community is something special. So I want to thank you all. I want to thank Eve Niedergang for spearheading this and being a stalwart supporter, as many of you have been. All of you have been to the center at one time or the other in the 5 years we have been here, which is astonishing. I want to thank Brother Layton for coming out to the parade last weekend. Thank you, my friend. And Mark has always been, for those of you who don't know, the mayor has been an incredible supporter of the center. He was in literally the day we moved into our new space on 12 Stockton. No photo op. It was just a matter of him just saying that he was so appreciative for himself and for the community, and on behalf of town council, that we were back in town, and so are we. And this is an incredible honor for us. And I just want to end my remarks, not bad, right? With gratitude. As we previously stated, there are some folks in this town who have been supportive of the center and the work that we do, especially in this difficult moment, this tender time for our queer community, for our marginalized folks. The police in Princeton have always been stalwart supporters, whether when we had the Transgender Day of Remembrance, they were there and made sure that not only did they keep us safe that day, because I don't know if you remember a couple months ago, there was a lot of safety concerns, but they also had tremendous concern and kept themselves at a distance from the center physically. So the community members who were coming that may be a little bit at odds with the police were not uncomfortable showing up. Ben Gehring, I want to mention specifically, took over from Jeff Maurer and helped us with the parade route the past couple of years. And you know where you love her, Peggy Brooks over at the firehouse is tremendous in how all she does to make sure things happen. If you had some great food at the after party, those food trucks were put in line, both literally and figuratively, by Peggy. So there's a tremendous community here in Princeton. And I know that the vast majority of folks are doing their best to be inclusive, to let everybody feel welcome, to feel recognized, to feel respected, to feel heard, to be seen, and most importantly, to feel loved. and we feel that tonight. And I thank you on behalf of our community. There's a few of us here tonight. The thunderstorms kept a lot of folks away, but we came out a little bit to show our support, to thank you for all that you do in this community. And I promise you, this honor will just, for better or for worse, keep us working that much harder and that much stronger, and making sure that we're showing up and glowing up everywhere we can be, and anything we can do to be of service to this community, to the town council, to the mayor, to the township, to the police, to the fire department, to all the services that provide here in Princeton. Please don't ever hesitate to hit us up. We want to be here for you as you have been here for us. Thank you so much. Much love and respect, y'all.
I'm good. Oh yeah, I got her here.
Bless you. And again, you're allergic to us. You better leave. Billy, you're so lucky. Take care. Okay, next up on the agenda would be public comments for items not on the agenda, and this is for the members of the public either here in the building or on Zoom that want to talk about, again, something that is not on the agenda. You have a 3-minute limit, and we'll actually put, bless you, and we'll actually put our timer on. And Lisa Wu, I believe you had actually signed up, so please, you're the first to speak to us.
Hello? Hello? Is that on?
Is that, could somebody?
Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. The first one is nutrition program, nutrition lunch site. I was told that the county thinking about moving from the firehouse. I talked to mayor last week, and I highly recommend one monument basement. Actually, 4 years ago, the county manager, Jennifer Williams, she actually thought that was a great site, but unfortunately, it didn't go. And now, 4 years later, well, 3 years later, since the 2020, we're going to move again. I don't want this program become like a stepchild of, you know, in the township, all the project. It's just, first of all, this is not an entitlement. This is not for poor. If you check, you go online, this is American Act, is for everybody, rich or poor, as long as it's 60 or over, you can have 1 meal a day, Monday through Friday, paid by the federal government, okay? So I hope this site would be a permanent site. Secondly, last Wednesday, I encountered a big truck parked in the Palmer Square meter. Nobody can use any kind of street as their workshop. I have a picture. I took the picture. This truck driver with his worker actually pulling all the cable. That's very dangerous. First of all, they should have a permit if they're going to do the job. But no, they taking 2 spots of the parking spot, okay? And later on, I called the police department, and I want them to come out and to see themselves. And they say, well, as long as they pay the meter, it's okay. Why is okay? What about the next person they want to park that spot? And by the way, this truck took 2 space. He shouldn't, because he parked actually 5 feet from the edge of the parking spot. So he purposely make it taking 2 spots.
Yeah.
And
Lisa?
is that
Lisa?
Princeton Township is always, as long as you have money, it's
Lisa?
money talk.
Okay,
as long
Lisa.
as they pay for it.
Thank you. Lisa?
No,
Lisa.
this is not right.
Lisa, thank you. Your 3 minutes is up, but you've made 2 points.
Yeah.
The health officer, Mr. Grosser, right here, is talking to the county about the nutrition
Okay.
program to find out.
Thank you very much.
No, I'm just trying to reply to you.
I'm
to
sorry.
find out what it is their plan is.
Okay.
And we'll find out more information, and hopefully we'll know soon. And I've talked to the police chief about the parking concern.
Yes.
And so the parking enforcement officers and the patrol officers will have a better idea how to handle that going forward.
Because they're enforcement, but you are, I mean,
Yes.
township is the one that collect the
Yes.
parking.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mayor, I appreciate
Yep.
that.
We appreciate you being here.
Yeah. Thank you. Good night.
Okay, next up, we have 2 ordinance introductions. Oh, there's a hand up. I'm sorry. Hey, Adam, can you bring in the person from Zoom? Sorry. Thank you very much.
Hi, can you hear me?
Sure, Julie, if you just introduce yourself and give us your
Sure.
address.
I'm Julie Zimmerman. I live at 87 Cedar Lane.
Adam, you got to turn that up.
And I'm sorry, can you hear me? Should I start over?
No, you're good. We're good now. Thank you.
Okay. I live at 87 Cedar in Riverside. And for the past 3 years, I've been surrounded, literally, by tear downs. So I'm sure this is a song you've heard played before, but sorry, I'm just going to play my version again. Each one has gotten progressively bigger. My house is 1,800 square feet. First, they built at 86 Cedar across the street. That was 3,300 square feet. Then next door at 97 Cedar, that was 4,200 plus square feet. And now they're digging the foundation for 161 Patent, that is 5,400 plus square feet. So it's just, honestly, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I'm frustrated with our current zoning. I think we could be a lot more creative about the zoning. And, you know, anecdotally, you hear about people where neighborhood character is enforced in the business district when small businesses are trying to do different things. I don't understand why neighborhood character somehow can't be taken into account with housing and changing of the neighborhood of the character. I feel like you should get creative with zoning where it should be an average of the surrounding properties or something like that. I'd also just want to share with you my own experience in getting information. The town clerk was very helpful to me in getting everything I got, and I got paperwork from all the different departments, all different square footage numbers, all different percentages. So then there isn't really one person who answers that. You call and they say, oh, well, that's building or that's zoning. Why does it say 6,600 square feet here? And here it says 4,700 square feet. And the builder says he's, quote, building on almost the whole site for 5,500 square feet, but don't worry, we have a rain garden. So, and I have to say, some people were so helpful and lovely. I wish I could remember their names. The gentleman in zoning was very helpful. The gentleman I spoke to about water concerns was very helpful. Other people, not so helpful, not so courteous. I was surprised. I thought my tax dollars paid for that. I hope the builders, when they come with plans, were met with the level of skepticism that I was met with over the phone. So, you know, I'm sure this building meets code. I'm concerned about the water table. I'm concerned about recourse should the water table be impacted. In talking to the water gentleman, he says the onus is on the new owners to maintain their rain gardens and report on their rain gardens annually. I'm dubious that'll happen. So anyway, I just wanted to get my opinion out there because, you know, these people are very clever in meeting all the requirements down to the 0.1%, and sort of the rest of us literally next door.
Yep.
There's not much we can do about it. So thanks.
Julie, thank you for joining the meeting and expressing your concern. I don't know. Okay. I think it's something we can all keep in mind as we look at what we're doing with our ordinances and zoning and planning, and so noted.
I'll just say that I think this is a top priority for the master plan process, is dealing with a movement away from McMansions towards more creative zoning, and it's certainly a top priority for the entire governing body, and we are working on it in every possible way. But it's years and years and years in the making, and it's very entrenched and baked into our existing zoning. But Julie, our master plan is almost 30 years out of date, and the best way to tackle what you're describing is a complete overhaul of the master plan, which is we are going to be adding some additional funds to that process later tonight, which reflects our commitment as a governing body to that comprehensive analysis, and making some of the changes that will hopefully provide relief and give you some satisfaction, because I know it's been many years that you've been speaking up on this point. So thank you for speaking up again.
Anybody else? Okay. Julie, thanks again. All right. Ordinance introductions. Ordinance 2023-22. Ordinance of the Mayor and Council of Princeton establishing the property management policy for Block 102, Lot 6.02, Landwin 2 property, located in Princeton, Mercer County, New Jersey. Public hearing July 10th, 2023. Is there a motion? Eve, thank you. Is there a second? Mia's got the second. It's a roll call vote.
Ms. Pearl-Lambros?
Yes.
Ms. Niedergang?
Yes.
Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Ms. Sachs?
Yes.
Ms. Fraga?
Yes.
Mr. Newland?
Yes.
Next up is ordinance 2023-23, an ordinance pursuant to the New Jersey Local Land and Buildings Law, NJSA 40A 12-14C, authorizing the leasing of 14 Clearview Avenue to the Housing Initiatives of Princeton Charitable Trust. Public hearing July 10th, 2023. Leticia's got the motion. Mia's got the second. Roll call vote again.
Ms. Pearl-Lambros?
Yes.
Ms. Niedergang?
Yes.
Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Ms. Sachs?
Yes.
Ms. Fraga?
Yes.
Mr. Newland?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to our resolutions. 23-219, resolution of the Mayor and Council of Princeton authorizing 2023 professional services agreement for community development block grant dental care program with Leica Tull, DDS, not to exceed, I think the correct amount is $64,000?
7.
The correct amount is $64,000.
Oh, okay.
So it's a correction to what is on the agenda. That was, anyway, not a big deal. Some of the other monies will be applied to something that comes up on our next agenda on July 10th. So anyway, Eve's got the motion. Thank you very much. Leticia's got the second. Any questions or comments? Other than thank you to Dr. Tull in her office for, again, helping out with a program this is the second year for this program, I think, and a great program for us to offer. Okay, no other comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
23-220, resolution of the mayor and council of Princeton to extend the We Drive You Transit Services contract for a term of 6 months from July 3, 2023 until January 2, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $155,920.86. Mia's got the motion. Michelle's got the second. Any questions or comments? I see none. I'm
Ma-
sorry, Leighton?
Mayor, just one question, and I might have read this wrong, but in part of the memorandum, there was the reference to 5.5%, and in the other part of it, the increase is 3.5%. My question is, the annual increase is supposed to be 5.5%, but if 3.5% is an increase over a 6-month period, and then you have another 3.5% increase over that 6-month period, isn't that 7%?
So this is something that Jim Purcell Jim was the person to answer this, and I know there is an answer to that.
Oh, let's let Deanna.
Right. So we're working with our qualified purchasing agent on the percentage increase, and we were going back and forth between 5.5 and he was able to negotiate it down to 3.5, which was within the range that is allowed for by the regulations.
Okay, so the answer is, well, it says 5.5, the actual increase is the 3.5.
Correct.
So good catch, but
Right.
the good news is it's 3.5.
But it is 3.5 over a 6-month period.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But what happens the next 6 months is my question.
What was so is this, I'm sorry. The contract ended, for the full contract ended as of July 3rd? Or is this just an extent? So I'm trying to get to your point as to whether the 5.5 was for the 1-year contract. Is it the 1-year contract over, or are we in the middle of the contract? I'm just trying to answer Leighton's question.
I
Is this
think
a
it's
second
two
6
standalones. The thing was that we had anticipated
ending it, right?
ending it mid-year.
Correct.
We are not able to end it mid-year because our agreement with the university is still pending. So we are, this is actually essentially a new contract over the next 6 months. I'm not sure what that means, and I know that Jim spent. We discussed this at the transit committee last week, and I know that Jim put a lot of work into this and got the best deal possible. He's not here, so but I.
Is capped, and I believe that the amount that was the final amount is under that. It's called the index rate by the state of New Jersey. So
okay, then my next question is, can we take another look at this in 6 months,
absolutely.
or are we obligated to?
This
roll
is the
over?
end. This is the end.
Well, yeah, but I think technically the answer is, if for some reason we needed to take another look at it, we could, but we believe that there won't be a need to do that. Right? I'm just saying. Nothing's final till it's final.
This is true. There's.
I just don't want us to. I just don't want us to, make an absolute.
But take another look at basically going with a different vendor.
Possibly.
Right. I think the hope is that we are going to have a way to provide bus transportation in town that involves another entity, and that if we use this vendor for anything, or another vendor that could provide the same service, it would not be duplicating exactly what we have today, but would supplement that possibly. So trying to give you a straight answer.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with it. I just want to understand it. To me, it's confusing, because it says the cap is 5.5%. That's the highest we can go over what we were charging for last year. And that's an annual. That's a 12-month cap. Now, in 6 months, we're paying 3.5%. That's more than half of the cap. So am I wrong, or if they're doing a great job and
Well,
this is the cost, I'm fine with it, but it's
a good
confusing.
question. I would say you're not wrong, but there's no prior increase, and we don't anticipate another 6-month period where there would be another increase. So we're still going to be under the 5.5 for a hypothetical annual contract of 12 months.
Okay.
And the cap actually changes quarterly, so it's just because, you know, inflation and just the needs of the workers and consumers and everything, it changes quarterly. So it wasn't the same when it was originally extended in January.
Okay.
The index rate was lower, and then it was a lot higher, and now it's back down, but not as low as it was.
Okay. Thank you.
It's a
Thank
little
you, everyone.
convoluted.
And Leighton, I think what you're seeing is that the memo actually should have been updated to say 3.5, and it has the 5.5. Because
Would
it
have
had
been
a
a lot less
5.5
confusing.
associated with 155,920. Yet we updated the resolution and the title of the memo to reflect the lower rate based on the, okay, never mind.
Okay.
I was going to say the title of the resolution has the 155 as well, but then in the memo it's 150, so I'll be quiet now.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right, any other questions on that one? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. 23221, resolution of the Mayor and Council of Princeton authorizing the submittal of a fiscal year 2024 New Jersey Department of Transportation Municipal Aid Grant Application MA-2024-Princeton-00437, and execution of a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation. Eve has got the motion, David has got the second. Questions or comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. 23222, resolution of the Mayor and Council of Princeton authorizing and approving a shared services agreement between the municipality of Princeton and the Mercer County Improvement Authority for curbside collection of recyclables for the term of 5 years commencing on January 1, 2024 through December 31, 2028. Is there a motion on that? Leighton, thank you. Is there a second? Eve's got the second. Questions or comments? Eve?
I just want to say that this new agreement with Mercer County Improvement comes at a very significant rate increase, as we've been experiencing with all aspects of our waste, whether it's garbage, getting rid of leaves and brush, or recycling. I think this was 82 or 84% increase over our last contract, and that is just, you know, for all of us to acknowledge that, as you know, there's no way to throw anything away anymore, and this is one reflection of that the cost for getting rid of things that we don't want anymore has just continued to go up. And, you know, as a community and as a nation, we have to think of better alternatives. So just setting that in context.
Yeah, thank you. Any other comments or questions? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
23223, resolution of the Mayor and Council of Princeton authorizing a supplemental professional services agreement with Clark Caton Heinz in the amount of $50,000 for additional services in furtherance of master plan and master plan reexamination report. Is there a motion? Mia, thank you. Is there a second? David, thank you. Questions, comments? Mia?
So, I wanted to say, first of all, that give a special shout out and express the collective appreciation of the council to Justin Lesko, the planner, who has moved mountains to make this happen in an incredibly short time. I wanted to note for the record that the council had indicated to the planning board leadership that given a transition from our previous planner who departed, and everything that fell on Justin's lap in terms of a lot of restructuring of the department and filling new positions, that we felt that it was a lot to put upon him embarking on the master plan, in addition to everything that was needed professionally for him. That was not, things did not, the planning board leadership made the decision to proceed anyway this year. That has put a tremendous burden on Justin and on the planning department. And I think we all are very appreciative of the way Justin has stepped up to handle that. And I think I spoke earlier about how important and to Julie's question, how important the master plan is. I hope that that we, it is been really difficult for Justin this year. But anyway, I think we are still on track to wrap up by the end of the year, which is really nothing short of miraculous. And Bernie, thank you also for all your support on this, and to the planning department and to Justin in particular. So I think shout out to Justin.
Any other questions or comments? And Justin, I do want to add thank you, because I know you do question every time they try to run a request for money or whatever by us. So thank you for being on top of that. All right, if there's no other questions or comments, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
23224, resolution of the Mayor and Council of Princeton authorizing the award of contract to MRC, Inc., Educational Services Commission of New Jersey, contract number ESCN NJ 20/21-06, for demo and disposal of existing playground equipment, playground borders, and playground mulch in the amount of $28,100 for Hilltop Park in Princeton. Michelle's got the motion. Leighton's got the second. Questions or comments?
Just a quick comment, please. I did ask the question if there's anything that could be done with the equipment, if there's any way to recycle, reuse. We're always looking at being efficient. But for safety concerns, there are regulations against actually being able to reuse the equipment. But anything that is recyclable will be recycled, just so everyone knows.
Thank you for that. David?
Yeah, just curious whether there's a reason why this removal and disposal was not part of the base contract for the improvements to the park. Are there special requirements in dealing with the equipment, or?
I think it was just an oversight. I don't know that there was any special considerations for it.
Thanks.
Any other questions or comments? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
23225, resolution of the Mayor and Council of Princeton authorizing execution of vendor contract with New Jersey Department of Community Affairs in connection with participation in low-income household water assistance program. Leticia's got the motion, Leighton's got the second. Questions or comments? Eve?
So this, as part of this, we're agreeing that we will not shut off anyone's sewer before September 30th. What happens after? And then there's another freeze starting November 15th. So we have a 6-week opportunity to, what is going on? I mean, have we ever turned off anyone's sewer? I don't even know how you do that. I know you can turn off water, but it just struck me as just very odd that there's this very specific date that before that we cannot remove the service, and then there's the winter freeze, and I can't imagine. Would we ever do this? Has there ever been a recorded instance of
I think it's more about the lien that we could put in place, as opposed to, I mean, you're right. We're not going to go stop up somebody's sewer line, but.
Right. Right. But we don't control the water. We just control the sewer. Right. Okay, so practically, if we were to take action, there would be a lien. Okay.
This is more about ensuring that people get
Get
Right.
their money.
The
Right.
assistance.
Right, because it's
Yeah,
for
this is
low
about
income.
not shutting the
Right.
water off. Giving them
if
some
there
cash.
are residents who qualify and they, you know, they will be able to be brought up to speed. And we don't know how many people there will be. If there are, you know, a handful, we'll make sure we deal with them. And I told the finance office I would help. We would deal with them on a case-by-case basis. You know, I mean, there are these standards and rules that they set by statute, but we'll make sure that these are handled carefully on a case-by-case basis. They're not
Right.
going to just.
So this is a new program? I don't recall seeing anything about this previous.
It's more about funding. You know, it's
Right.
the DCA it's more about they have this funding, I believe, and that's
Okay.
why this is happening. They have the funding to make sure that these households are brought into compliance. And then during this period when this money's available, that the
Right.
municipalities can't take any negative action
Right.
towards the residents. But
Well, I would just
It's-
certainly hope that even though this runs out at a certain point, that we would be not taking any action against low-income
I don't think
residents.
that's the
too.
goal.
You know?
That's not the goal. The goal is to ensure, because the statute says that the towns have to sign these agreements. And
Okay.
and it's not the most clear program right now, but
Okay. Yeah.
you know, it's clear that the state has resources that the municipality can reach out to if there even are any residents that
Okay.
actually qualify for the program. But so we just had to make sure it was
Okay.
properly
Thank you
done
for-
and put on the agenda. So it's nothing to be worried about. I don't think that the municipality wants to start taking negative action towards residents. It's more about funding, I think, and that's
Okay.
why while this funding is available, it's about bringing people into compliance.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does that make
Thanks for
sense? I hope
explaining.
That makes sense.
I was quite
We're
confused.
learning about it still, so.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on this one? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
23226, resolution of the mayor and council of Princeton authorizing a payment of $168,000 to the Princeton Public Schools for 2022-2023 school year hazardous busing transportation cost. Is there a motion on that? David, thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Michelle. Questions, comments? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 22227, resolution of the mayor and council of Princeton authorizing the submittal of a fiscal year 2024 Safe Routes to Transit Grant application, SST-2024-Princeton-00038, and execution of a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for Terhune Road pedestrian improvements. Eve's got the motion, David's got the second. Questions or comments? David?
So I think this is the same grant that we had applied for a year or two ago that we did not receive. Is there any reason to hope that we'll be more successful this time around? Are there improvements in our application?
Yes, so 2 years ago, we submitted an application for for Terhune Road that went from Mount Lucas to Meadowbrook to make the improvements. We did not receive that grant. Last year, we submitted a grant application for Snowden from North Harrison Street to Meadowbrook, to Grover, and we did receive that grant application award. So the idea is following up on the footsteps of our successful award for the one portion. We're resubmitting a modified application for the section from Mount Lucas to North Harrison Street, and the idea is that it's going to help support getting school children from the developments on Terhune through sidewalk areas that don't currently exist on Terhune to the schools. So we are hopeful that, again, this year, additional monies will be made in the Safe Routes to Transit program.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next up is the consent agenda. If no one has anything that they want to discuss individually, someone could move the consent agenda. David, thank you. Mia's got the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, David,
Move to adjourn.
we are, oh yeah, everybody always says aye, so we're just going to everybody said aye, we're done. Thank you.
Aye.
Thank
And
you,
I want to
everybody
say
tuned in.
welcome back, David. We missed you.
Thank you.
Yay.
You know, I didn't even miss a single council meeting, but
Oh, I thought you were going to
But-
say you didn't miss us.
it feels like a year that I've been gone. So
It did feel like a year.